While the world is distracted by the latest smartphone, the rules of reality are being rewritten in high-security laboratories and deep-sea testing grounds. We're talking about weapons that vaporize targets for the price of a sandwich, and ghost subs that haunt the ocean floor for months without a single human soul on board. And they're just the beginning. These are 5 technologies you didn't know existed. For decades, the biggest problem with modern air defense has been the math. When an enemy launches a swarm of $2,000 drones, the only way to stop them is by firing interceptor missiles that cost $2 million each. It's a war of attrition that the defender eventually loses. But the UK's newly declassified Dragonfire system just flipped the script. This isn't a science fiction concept. It's a high-power, long-range directed energy weapon that recently completed its first high-power firing against aerial targets. It has the pinpoint accuracy to hit a £1 coin from over a kilometer away, focusing enough heat on a single spot to melt through steel hulls or trigger a missile's warhead mid-flight. But the best part is the cost. While a traditional missile battery can be drained in minutes, Dragonfire fires for roughly $13 per shot. That is less than the price of a standard pizza to take down a multi-million-dollar threat. Because it's powered by electricity, it effectively has unlimited ammunition as long as the ship's engines are running. The Royal Navy has already fast-tracked this tech, intending to install it on warships by 2027. Effectively ending the era of expensive missile defense and ushering in the age of light-speed warfare. For years, robots were blind. They could follow a pre-programmed path, but if you moved a single tool by an inch, the entire system would crash. That changed the moment the world met Figure 03. This isn't just a machine that moves, it's a machine that reasons. Powered by the new Helix 02 architecture, Figure 03 uses a vision language model that allows it to look at a chaotic room and understand context exactly like a human does. In its latest autonomous demo, the robot was tasked with unloading a full dishwasher, a job that requires identifying overlapping objects, sensing the weight of fragile glass versus heavy ceramic, and making split-second corrections when a plate slips. Unlike the stiff, jerky movements of traditional robotics, Figure 03 moves with an eerie, natural fluidity. It can engage in a real-time conversation while it works, explaining why it decided to put a cup in the cupboard instead of the trash. It's currently being deployed in BMW's manufacturing plants to handle complex assembly tasks, but the real goal is much bigger. This tech represents the first time a general-purpose robot has broken out of the factory and into the home, marking the official end of robots as tools and the beginning of robots as autonomous agents. DARPA and Northrop Grumman have been quietly testing something far more unsettling. It's called the Manta Ray, and it's essentially the ocean's first true ghost ship. This is an extra-large uncrewed underwater vehicle, XLUUV, that mimics the elegant, diamond-shaped body of its namesake. But it's not just the shape that's revolutionary, it's the way it moves. The Manta Ray is a glider. Instead of using loud, power-hungry propellers that are easily picked up by sonar, it changes its own buoyancy, pumping water in and out to sink or float, allowing it to glide through the deep ocean with almost zero noise or energy consumption. The Manta Ray is designed for hibernation. It can travel to a sensitive area like a shipping lane or a contested strait and simply sit on the seafloor for months at a time, silent and invisible. It can harvest energy from underwater thermal currents to keep its sensors alive, waiting for a specific acoustic signature before it wakes up to track a target or relay intelligence via satellite. Because it's modular, it can be shipped anywhere in the world in standard cargo containers and reassembled on a pier. It is the ultimate invisible sentinel, a weapon that can haunt the world's oceans without ever needing a human to step on board. For over a century, the design of the powerboat hasn't really changed. You build a heavy hull and use massive amounts of fuel to brute force it through the water. It's loud, it's bumpy, and it's incredibly inefficient. But the Candela C8 just ended the era of the traditional hull by borrowing a trick from the world of aviation. It's a 100% electric boat that doesn't sit in the water, it flies above it. Using a set of retractable carbon fiber hydrofoils, the C8 lifts its entire hull 3 feet into the air once it hits 16 knots. Because the boat is no longer fighting the friction of the waves, its energy consumption drops by a staggering 80%. This isn't just a gimmick. It's the first time an electric boat has achieved the range and speed of a fossil fuel vessel, capable of cruising silently for over 50 nautical miles on a single charge. But the real magic is the flight controller. An onboard computer monitors the boat's position 100 times per second, automatically adjusting the foils to compensate for wind and waves. The result is a ride so smooth that you can fly over a 1-meter wake without feeling a single vibration. It feels less like boating and more like a low-altitude flight. By removing the hull slap and the engine roar, Candela hasn't just made a better boat. They've created a completely new category of transport that makes every other vessel on the water look like a relic of the past. The final technology on our list doesn't just change how we fight or move, it changes how we see. It's called Vantablack, and it is the closest thing to a physical black hole that humans have ever created. Vantablack isn't a paint or a pigment, it is a forest of vertically aligned carbon nanotubes. When light hits it, instead of bouncing off, it becomes trapped between these microscopic tubes, bouncing around until it is completely converted into heat. It absorbs 99.96% of all visible light. The result is a total optical void. If you spray it on a wrinkled piece of foil, the wrinkles vanish. If you spray it on a 3D statue, the statue appears to be a flat, featureless hole cut out of the universe. Your brain literally cannot process the shape because there are no shadows or highlights for your eyes to latch onto. But while artists have used it to create mind-bending installations, the real-world applications in 2026 have moved into the high-stakes territory. This year, the Jovian 1 satellite is launching into orbit, coated in an ultra-black variant designed specifically to end space light pollution. It's also the holy grail of stealth technology. By coating drones or sensitive surveillance equipment in Vantablack, you create a vehicle that is virtually invisible against the night sky or the deep ocean. It doesn't just hide from radar, it hides from the human eye. These 5 technologies prove one thing. We are rapidly moving from human intuition to algorithmic certainty. To me, the most disruptive tech isn't the one that gets the headlines. It's the one that quietly removes the human element from the equation entirely. But which of these feels like the biggest threat to you? Drop a comment below. Thanks for watching.